Hollywood isn't just blonde-haired, blue-eyed people.
I, like many plus-sized actors and comedians, joke about it because that's the easiest way to divert that problem.
Good evening, everybody. I am really itching to get into this interview tonight. You can see my hand is scratching away like this. I am meeting with Heather Carson. She's a very interesting woman from Glade Park, Colorado, who is currently under siege from monsoon quality rain. And she took a moment from her very successful acting career to come and spend time with me tonight here on the stage, and that feels like a privilege. Her name is Heather Carson. She's awesome, and she'll be right here after these messages. We'll be right back. Boop.
Two most important things: time and money. Anything that wastes both doesn't get to do it twice.
Well, that was really quick because usually we have a couple other commercials that play, but just now we apparently didn't. What you just watched was a short movie trailer by my friend George Harrington, and who you see right here is my other friend Heather Carson from Glade Park, Colorado. Welcome to my show today, Heather. I'm so glad you showed up.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
You are a very fun person. I can see this.
But you hardly know me yet.
Oh, no, but I can tell because, see, I've seen your acting reel and I've seen all kinds of stuff about you, and we had a brief conversation. And, you know, just some people, you look at them, you just know they are fun. It's just the way it is.
Oh, thank you.
So I
can tell you're a fun person just because of your wardrobe.
I'm more like a fun guy, like grows on a rock in the dark. So you have an acting career that's been going on for a very long time. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was first discovered in the third grade. I was cast as Runny Bunny in the Easter play, and it's kind of just gone from there.
You started out as a rabbit.
I did.
That's funny. When I was in third grade, my mom said, "Jeff, you have to sing in church." And so she made me sing a song about a rabbit. There must be something about third graders and rabbits.
Must be very popular at that demographic, I guess.
Yeah, so when you were in third grade, you were in the theater. I mean, that's probably what third grade was. They weren't doing live streams back then. So what kind of roles did they give you?
You know, being a natural redhead, I got a lot of Annie,
Really?
some Raggedy Ann, which is real old school. I don't know if people still know who that is.
Oh, I know who it is. I still sleep with my Raggedy Ann doll every night.
Oh, well, there you go. See, you know who it is. I've done some Holly Hobby. There's a lot of typecasting. Yes. Whenever the school would do like Little House on the Prairie, I always, Laura Ingalls. Redheads get typecast quite a bit. I think I've come far enough in my career now that I'm pulling some different roles that don't necessarily revolve about being a redhead.
Interesting. I just never would have thought of it that way, but you're right. Annie, definitely a redhead role right there.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me that you were a tree, and I was going to say, "Hey, can you pretend to be a tree right now?" Do you remember any of the lines from Annie?
Oh yeah, and like all the songs.
Really? Sing one.
Oh, sure. The sun'll come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and the sorrows. There you go. Impromptu actress and singing performance. It's a double for you.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I love the fact that you can pull it out just like that. It's because it's really who you are. It's part of you.
Yeah, I have also been singing since third grade, and I've just pretty much been in the performance path since I could crawl, basically.
Awesome. Well, not me. That's cool. I remember when I was in the first grade, and then I remember being in the second grade, and finally I graduated. Those were the years. That was it. So along the
That was it.
You obviously in school it's all about doing, theatrical stuff. At what point did you suddenly get into the whole TV and film career?
When I was about 8, I did some extra work on Grizzly Adams. You might remember that show.
Oh, yes.
Got to be friends with the whole cast. The best experience ever because you got to work with all the animals and they were awesome. And it was so fun. And I did a couple of other Westerns where it was just really background actor, girl walking down the street stuff, nothing important. I focused on theater through high school, through college. I did a lot of community theater after that. And I was always involved in singing somehow. And in 2017, a young director moved here from Iowa, and he just had an open cattle call. And I said, I'm over 40, let's say, and I am a plus-sized woman, but there still needs to be, not everybody can be a hot 20-year-old in a film. Went down and met with him at this cattle call, and we got to talking, and he asked me who some of my inspirations were, and I said right now, Chrissy Metz, Melissa McCarthy, they're really breaking molds in Hollywood for plus-sized actresses and doing a really great job with it, and we really hit it off, and he said, you know what, I'm brand new to town, my very first film, I'd like to do a standalone piece with you, because I just think you're great. And that's when my serious film career started. Man Plans and God Laughs. I didn't expect to be rediscovered at this age and as active in film as I am, but I love every single minute of it.
I really can't blame you, and I think it's what's the word I'm thinking of? I'll tell you a story. Hollywood loves people who aren't always the cover model. Mm-hmm. Years and years ago, I shot a film, and I was expecting that the cast was going to be loaded with all those blonde hair, blue-eyed, voluptuous models. And when I got there, there were some of them, and they were cool, and everybody loves them, right? And then there was this lady who was... I don't know how else you say it. Ugly. Just kind of, just sort of fugly. And I'm like, wow, how'd she get this role? But she played the role perfect. The role she was cast for, she was absolutely perfect for that role. And as I'm talking to her and talking to everybody else, I discovered that she was also getting paid to be in films and TV shows and everything, and this is boggling my mind. I was pretty closed-minded about it back then. I thought, oh gosh, you want to get paid in Hollywood, you've got to be this really beautiful person, and here I've got this person in front of me who was the opposite and happened to be the only person in that entire cast that was getting paid regularly for film work, and it boggled my mind, and I said, how come you get paid all the time? And she goes, I know exactly what you're saying, Jeff. You're saying that I'm ugly. Of course, I'm like, no. Try to cover my tracks on that one. Failed miserably, like most men would if that's what happens, right? And I said, well, she says, seriously, it's no big deal. I know who I am. And she says, they hire me because that's who I am. I'm a memorable face. I'm not just yet another blonde in the crowd. I'm a memorable face. You remember me, you stand out. And so then I thought, I'm going to go search Google. So I went to Google and I searched this. I searched Hollywood ugly actors. And there was this big giant list, and I went, dang, these are the people I know. These are the people I've watched my whole life. And so I just don't know how to say it, I suppose, but that's so cool because Hollywood doesn't always embrace only those beautiful people, but Hollywood embraces the uniqueness. And that's what's lovely about it is you're unique. It's fantastic. And the fact that you can make money at this and a successful career is just incredibly impressive. I love it.
Oh, thank you. It's been an amazing experience for me. I think anybody that is in performance arts and is constantly putting themselves out there in front of an audience, has self-doubts. Does my hair look good? Is my lipstick straight? But we have, body images, and we have, is my voice funny and stuff. But like you're saying, there are so many people that have made their career on that. Steve Buscemi. I mean, how is this guy an actor? But he's a great actor. And he's super talented, and there is a Hollywood stereotype, and women over 40, you get cast as the mom and the grandma and stuff like that. But for me, I think every day that I'm on set, it's a gift. I'm so happy that someone chose me, that they see something in me. And I really do. I have two major TV inspirations. One's The Rock. And one's Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is in everything. He's in all the things. He's doing independent film. I mean, he was a huge Hollywood blockbuster for years. And I just read an interview with him lately where he said he doesn't know if he would even go back to Hollywood. He likes working in independent film because it gives him more freedom to be who he wants to be, to dig deep on these characters, and he's not bound by so many rules, And they're both great talents. They're both great motivators. And The Rock says, always be the hardest working person in the room. I definitely try to be that person. I sometimes think like I don't really belong here. And so I have to do extra work and try extra hard and be extra helpful and, hold a boom mic if needed or run and get snacks or whatever needs to take place, because that way they won't realize they cast the wrong person, because this role probably should have gone to someone younger, thinner, prettier, blonder, whatever.
But see, that's exactly what I was trying to say. You've got somebody out there named Danny Trejo.
Yes.
This guy is not a pretty boy at all.
Yes.
And look at him. It's Danny Trejo. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of other names. But wow. And so look at you. You're fortunate to be who you are. Hold on to that thought for a second. My mom is calling. Just a second. Hold on. Mom, we're going to go to a commercial. Boom.
Hi, my name is George, and I'm here to talk to you about.
All right, guys, the quadratic formula. Let the fun begin. Who could tell me how the formula begins? X equals...
No, this isn't happening.
Excuse me, my child goes to this school.
Let's take X squared.
I hate you. Ow, I paid my taxes.
What is that? Oh, snap.
All right, settle down, little goblins.
Whoa.
Please, no.
Tell him it's me. Tell him it's Mommy.
Carson. Yes! No!
Are you looking for ways to make more money? Are you good at sales? Do you have the drive and the ambition that it takes to get the job done? Well, then come join our team here at TVPBN. We offer great incentives. Work your own hours from wherever you want. Small town, big city, my favorite, the quiet island beach. It all works. Go to tvpbn.com today. Click on the link to become an affiliate. My name's Chris Mayberry, and I'm excited to be working with you.
Two most important things: time and money. Anything that wastes both doesn't get to do it twice.
Heather, I am loving having you here on the show with me, and I have a question. You said that you are a plus-size actor. Do people bully you for that on the set?
You know, a little. There's some jokes when I walk by or when I pull out a costume, you know, because wardrobe for plus size actors isn't all, you know, couture. And sometimes they're wanting to appear bigger than you are. So, you know, ye old moo gets trotted out. And so when, you know, I pull that off the rack, I've heard some comments and stuff. But most of the time, people are pretty respectful. I think I have more problems being a woman on set than I do than being a plus-sized woman on set.
I wonder if some of it is from jealousy.
It could be, because I am pretty fabulous.
I can see that. And the fact that you're there on the set and maybe you have a better role than they did, a lot more speaking lines, that would create a lot of friction.
There is some of that. And it definitely depends on like what type of a film you're working on and what the cast is like and, you know, where they're coming from.
What do you do about it when this occurs?
I, like many plus-sized actors and comedians, joke about it because that's the easiest way to divert that problem, you know.
In other words, you're not confrontational with them and smacking them right between the eyes.
I'm generally not. No, I just make a joke about it, you know.
Have you ever had to do that and be
confrontational? Of your
confrontational?
costume in this. I'm sorry.
Have you ever had an acting situation where you had to be confrontational because they were such complete jerks?
Not because of my weight. Because I was being, I guess, sexually harassed is the current verbiage.
Okay.
I had a gentleman on set that was just a little too aggressive with me and was not touching me inappropriately, but just touching me all the time. And it wasn't really necessary or have anything to do with what we were doing there. But,
Really?
you know, every time I turned around, he was there, you know, hand across the door, kind of using his height, because I'm also very short, and, you know, kind of towering over me and blocking the doorway and stuff, making inappropriate comments. And I've had one confrontation on that. I definitely was brought up in the age that, you know, if you talk, you lose your job. And with the Me Too movement, I have gotten a little more courageous about that. But I definitely think that you're supposed to still keep your mouth shut to keep your job.
Why don't you just give them a knee right in the crotch?
Well, you're really not supposed to put hands on each other. But and I definitely respect those rules, and you know, I think everybody just needs to have their personal space, especially when we're working on set. Like, you're deep in a character, you're working on an emotion, and you're really concentrating on that. And so someone that's like always following you around, bugging you, like putting their hand on their shoulder, it makes it really hard for you to stay in the role and stay in the movement.
That'd be kind of creepy, honestly.
Yeah, it is. And
I say that
fortunately,
because I can't stand that when people are like, everything seems to be creepy. That's like the go-to word for everything. Oh, he's a nice guy. He's such a creepy guy. Oh, he complimented my hair. Oh, he's creepy. But seriously, some guy doing this on the door. Oh, yeah, that does seem creepy.
yeah, it's just, and it's like the constant touching. I have a really big social bubble. It's like arm's length. I don't think anybody needs to be that close to me. And, after the last year, I think we all have a 6-foot bubble. So somebody that's just constantly like in your space, up on you, touching your hand, like touching your hair, like, I'm not married to you. Why are you touching my hair? That seems like a weird thing for somebody to be doing,
So moving to Beijing, China, and traveling on the subway every single day packed like a sardine is not in your playbook.
You know what? It really isn't. And it is interesting when you work with people from different cultures like that. I have such an awareness of people and how close they are to me. And then there are just certain cultures that, they stand a lot closer. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, we are wide open spaces. You can stand away from me.
But how are you, as an actress, how are you going to handle the lovemaking scenes? I mean, they can't stand 6 feet back for that.
Oddly enough, I haven't been cast for any.
Seriously?
I guess no one wants to see plus-size people, making love on TV or movies.
That would be an interesting premise for a movie, though, because it's unusual.
It would.
It's different. I mean, just because people are bigger doesn't mean they're not in love and they can't have these romantic moments in real life as well as in the movies.
I mentioned earlier, Chrissy Metz is an inspiration for me.
So all of these years of acting, literally not a single movie that or film or theatrical production has involved a romantic scene with a plus-size person? You're talking decades.
Oh, no. For me, it's only been since 2017, and I just haven't had any roles that really had a romantic involvement.
Well, apply for them. Change it up, because as I'm thinking about it, you're right. I haven't seen that. And I watch
Chrissy
a lot
Metz
of movies.
Has come a long way on television with that, because they cast her with a plus-size gentleman also. They have kids. They've, had a marriage. They have romance scenes. And I think that broke down like a lot of boundaries. Shows like Mike and Molly, again, Melissa McCarthy, those also broke down some of those boundaries. But I think that there is a perception that, fat people don't get frisky.
Oh, we know that's not true. Otherwise, there wouldn't be additional fat people in the world.
There you go.
Yep. So obviously someone needs to change that perception by acting in those roles.
I think it's coming. I just think that there's other things that are more important that need to be addressed right now. And those are the things that are getting addressed,
Well, that is true. That is true. It's not exactly an important one, but it is a cultural issue, I would think, in that regard.
Yeah, I agree.
So we have an acting clip here of you that I want to watch, but I see a note here on my monitor that says, do this for a second, so I'm going to do it. Ready? Poof. And it didn't work. There it goes. Here on the show with me, Geoffrey Hill, we are always looking for new people to come on the show as a guest and share their stories. I love to talk to actors, singers, producers, filmmakers, authors, and tons of other people. If you or somebody you know would be a great guest for my show or any other shows on the network, just go to tvpbn.com/theshowprep and fill out the application today. I look forward to seeing you.
I don't like being hung up on. If you hang up on me again, I'm coming in after you.
Listen, mister, I'm gonna have to call the police if you keep calling me.
Call them. they'll get here fast enough.
Oh, there they are.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bride and groom-to-be, Emily and Marcus!
What the hell is that?
You son of a bitch! You said we were best friends!
What are you two doing here?
Excuse me, this is a private event. Oh, it's cool. We know the bride and groom. We met these two animals down in Mexico.
Why does the salt not taste salty?
Oh, because it's cocaine.
What?
I don't do drugs.
Even on vacation?
Okay, look, we just gotta contain it. It's only happening because you said see you later.
I said it without meaning it like any decent person would. And somehow he's charming my dad.
Hope you're comfortable letting him force him. As long as there's at least one girl involved.
Everywhere they go, chaos happens.
This weekend is all about you. Well, I like the sound of that.
We do too.
Jesus.
Good evening, everyone.
What is he doing up there?
Marcus and I crossed paths in Mexico. Get to know each other intimately. This is the best wedding I've ever been to. Put that bottle on your head.
Babe, he's not serious. We've been drinking.
Count it!
You hit the bottle this time.
What?
So I want to get right into your demo reel. You sent us a reel and it has several different acting scenes on it. Give me a little bit of background on them so I know what we're looking at.
Oh gosh, I just tried to pull a little bit of something interesting from several of the movies that I was in and tried to get those best moments so that I can book those jobs.
Well, let's roll it really quick and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Could I talk to you for a minute?
Yeah, I guess. Hey, you know all those plastic bags you just got in the store? Like, those are really bad for the environment.
Is that so? Guess I should have went with paper.
Oh my god, no. Do you know how many trees they cut down for that? It's insane.
Today's top headline. Ohio scientists have found a cure for depression. While researching a cure for cancer, they found a special form of fungi that can cause the dopamine and serotonin in the brain to permanently
You could just carry them out.
Don't want to go.
Now, Cassie, your father talked to you about this.
So it's my fault you can't have kids?
We are not having this conversation again, and you could be a little bit nicer to me.
You're making me go and sit on Sarah's lap. I'm 15.
You can do this one thing for me. Oh my god.
Oh god!
Get out of the way. Caitlin! Caitlin!
Oh my God!
You're all right. Caitlin! Look at me. Look at me, Caitlin. Caitlin, you're all right. You're all right. Look at me. You're all right. Just first. Let's leave room for the Holy Spirit, you guys. Don't forget your math assignment Monday.
Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aden it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
I completely love it. You know, my favorite part, my favorite part of your demo reel is the one called Santa's Lap, where mom and her daughter are walking down the sidewalk, and you did the accent. I mean, you don't normally talk with that accent, right?
I don't.
I don't
but
think so,
I
'cause I've heard
can.
It was so believable.
Oh, thank you. I do work on a lot of different accents.
Yes, as I was watching that, I'm like, this is a really typical daughter scene, and you played the role of the mom so well. And the daughter's
It's
so
actually
frustrated.
a stepmom. She's the stepmom, and so you've got that tension between the stepdaughter, stepmom. But I really had fun on that film. I think everyone needs to do at least one Christmas film in their career. At least one. And this one was really fun.
And my next favorite one was the one where you ran in, and I was unclear what was going on with the girl. It looked like the guy was going to beat her up or something, but that was really good.
That was my first feature film, and it is about a young woman who is sexually assaulted in her home, and I play her psychiatrist for that. She has night terrors and wakes up screaming. Her dad was trying to calm her and console her, and I happened to arrive for our counseling session at that time. And it was it's a really powerful movie about how sexual assault doesn't just affect the victim. It affects everyone around. It affects the best friends. It affects the dad. It affects the boyfriend. And as the psychiatrist, I was very vested in this, and it really affected me as well. Challenging movie.
At some point in your life, were you a victim of the same thing?
I was when I was in my teens.
That's why it really hits home.
I think it hits home for a lot of women because I don't think there's very many women out there that have not been affected by it, either personally or a friend or a parent. It's just a really unfortunate problem that we have in the world.
So out of all of the movie roles you've had, if you could choose the role that you want, if someone said, hey, we'll give you any role that you could possibly want, we don't care what you say, we're just going to give it to you, what would you actually choose?
You know what? My very, very favorite roles are something where you're kind of a double role, like you're a secret agent, you are the head of the mafia, but you really have a heart of gold and rescue puppies on the weekends. I just love dual roles. I love the challenge of them, and those are my very favorite types of roles to play.
You could be a unique James Bond girl. That'd be awesome.
In high school, I did Get Smart, and I was the evil Professor Zelinka. And I was a double agent in Get Smart. And from there on, I just love those kind of roles where you really are challenged. And you have to be the bad guy some of the time, and then you get to be like a really good person the other part of the time, or portray a really good person. I just love being challenged like that.
Fun. Really fun to be able to split the two split personalities, the Sybil syndrome, or whatever you call that. That would be really fun. So we have another set of clips here from another film whose name I can't remember because everything I saw was written in Spanish. And I'm not quite sure why it was written in Spanish, but from what I'm told, it was a film you did across 2 continents?
Yes, this was a really amazing project I got to be involved with last year. In March, everything shut down. Everybody stayed at home. Hollywood shut down. And there just wasn't a lot of acting work. And I was approached by the director, Marcello Fabani, in Uruguay about a film that he wanted to collaborate on. I would do all my own filming, hair, makeup, everything on my end in Colorado. He would do his filming in Uruguay. And then he put it together into one short film, about 5 minutes and 30 seconds, called Smartest Creature. Fascinating project because you have 2 people who've never met, who don't speak the same language, and made a film together, 10,000 miles apart.
How did he even find out about you?
Well, we shared a mutual friend. Here we're doing a monthly film showcase for quite a while, and people could submit from all over the world, and he had submitted several films. And so he knew the main organizer. He had seen my work in those film showcases, and we became Facebook friends. And he told me he was awfully intimidated to reach out to me and see if I would collaborate on a project with him, but everything was shut down and nobody was filming. So yeah, I was delighted to collaborate on a project like that.
Wow, it's fascinating. So but did you speak Spanish in this or?
I do not. I speak English. He speaks Spanish as his primary language. I have high school Spanish, so I know, where is the library and donde es la baña? The important things. But we did most of our communicating through Facebook. I mean, we live in amazing times that I even know this person that lives 10,000 miles away, that he is directing me on how to film shots, how to do lighting, and everything was run through translating programs, basically on Facebook. And he speaks pretty good English. He is very heavily accented, and I have minimal Spanish. But some of the simplest things that you would think would not interfere in filmmaking whatsoever. Just, how do you want me to wear my hair in this? And he's like, hang on, I have to look it up. And he went and looked some stuff up, and he goes, I don't know the name for it, but you just kind of pull it all in the back. And I said, is it a ponytail? And he looked it up and he goes, yes, wear it like that. And so really simple stuff was complicated because we had to run through translators and just different, cultural aesthetics and different things like that. And, I'm filming in my house in Colorado on my cell phone. He's filming in Uruguay on his cell phone. And then he puts it all together in a way that makes sense. And honestly, we're both terribly, terribly proud of this film. I have won 2 Best Actress awards for it. One was here in the town nearby, Grand Junction, Colorado, last year. And this spring, I won a Best Actress award at the Festival Internacional de Terror de Cine Caligari in Spain. So not only is it not in it's not in my country, it's not in his country, but in Spain, they thought I did a good enough job that I got a Best Actress award. And I think that that's awesome.
That is really exciting. Well, we have 5 clips here, and I believe you said to the producer that they're not in any particular order. So as the viewers watching them, they have to realize that this is not the order of the story. These are just simply 5 random clips. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let's roll those clips and then we'll talk about it for a brief moment.
Did you get the package? Even though you ran away from here, I still think of you. And I wonder how you'll take care of yourself. What did you want from me? What didn't reach you? I know I was spending a lot of time at work, in the lab. You knew a huge defense job had just come through with giant bonuses for the biochemical developers. What did you want me to do? Not work overtime? I calculate that with your chronic problems and the frequency with which you take them, you'll have already taken one by now. Probably today. You're really going to notice that.
That is so intriguing. I want to see the whole entire film now. So,
well, it's only about 6 minutes, and I can sure get that to you.
So when you're talking on the cell phone, he's got it in his hand. Is he talking back to you? But yet
he is not.
Oh, he's not.
Nope.
So
he is just watching, sort of like a a voice recording.
Okay.
But
So
it is fascinating because I filmed it on my phone held in my hand, but he's projecting it into the phone that he's holding in his hand in Uruguay.
And so you had to act as if he's really communicating with you, but in reality, he wasn't.
He actually doesn't speak during the film.
No, what I mean is when
Essentially-
you're shooting, he's not actually there when you're shooting.
Oh,
You were
no.
just all by yourself, imagining that he was listening.
Yes, yes. I filmed everything in my home here in Colorado on my cell phone, propped up against a book while I was chopping the celery and things like that. And yeah, then he edited in his sections.
What made the two of you want to do this in the first place? It's such an unusual thing like this, I think.
I think it is too, and I think that the end product was like awesome, and the fact that we did do it on, I mean, I'm an actress. The last year we've had to learn so much. We have to self-tape auditions, and we have to know lighting, and we have to do editing, and like that's not really my passion. I just want to act, but because of the pandemic, we're working from home. We're doing voiceover work. We're self-taping auditions. You don't audition in person. And so this was the first thing I've ever tried to film myself doing. And it really stood me in good stead through the rest of the year to be able to self-tape auditions. But he had this vision for this project and wanted me involved. And it's a juicy part. I mean, who doesn't want that bitter, vengeful woman role, We've all suffered somewhere down the road.
And
we want to play that out.
Woman role before. But I understand. That would be very attractive. I thought it was real.
Thank you.
She's talking about how he's like taking some medicine or something in the middle of the night. And I'm thinking, man, she really knows this guy. And you think about your own relationships in life and the people you've loved, how much you know them. It was believable for me. It was great.
Thank you. That's really what I strive for. Gosh, I am just finishing up doing wardrobe for a zombie movie. I'm helping some friends out. I have been prepping a wardrobe for zombies since February in my backyard in various stages.
Movie in your backyard?
I have been working on just the wardrobe for it. And so that has involved me putting clothes out in the backyard, burying some, putting plants on top of it, letting, the storyline involves some zombies that have been running around in a Colorado town for quite a few years. And so you want that aged, sun-bleached, authentic look. We had time. So I put it out in the backyard and experimented since February. And I'm just wrapping up getting all those wardrobe pieces washed and cleaned and ready for that particular film. I have another zombie project, web series down the road, hopefully, that we started a few years ago and we're going to hopefully pick back up on. And I'm not sure what else is in the works at this point. I just know that I'm out there hustling every day looking for the next part.
That's awesome. I love the fact that you're doing that you are actually aging the clothes instead of just trying some makeup tricks. I never thought of that. When you first said you're doing wardrobe in your backyard, I'm thinking, you've got to be kidding me. What the heck? Now I understand. It makes total sense. It's cool.
Yeah, I've actually had a lot of fun with it. I had plenty of time. We started talking about this months ago, and I had just done my spring cleaning and had a bunch of wardrobe that, was going to get turned into rags. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Maybe we could make this into zombie clothes. And I told my neighbors what I was doing, and they're like, hey, we've got 2 trash bags of stuff like that. And then the couple that's making the film, they had done a spring cleanup. So my whole backyard is covered with decaying clothing since February. But you cannot beat the authenticity of it. I did run into a real snag here lately. I needed to kind of zombify some lab coats. Unbeknownst to me, I believe that lab coats must be treated chemically to resist stain. I have dyed them twice. I have left them laying out in the sun for weeks. And when I wash them to send down for the actors to wear, everything comes out and they look shiny and white and clean.
Wow.
I've had a really hard time with these lab coats. I know they're treated for like chemical spills and fire retardant and stuff like that, but I didn't know that I was going to run into such a big problem with not being able to dye them.
Who would have ever thought? I guess they have to be germ resistant and whatever else. So,
it's just been kind of a fun project for me, something to do. It's been interesting the last year. Stuff shut down so early, and nobody was making films and stuff. It was actually one of my busiest years. I stayed busy the whole year. I actually roped my husband into a few things. He usually gets roped into a lot of things. He did some commercials. He booked a commercial here in town where he plays an elderly patient at a senior care facility. Every time that commercial call runs, we get phone calls from friends going, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" And I'm like, "Nothing. He's acting." It's a commercial.
They forget that it's a commercial.
Oh yeah. Apparently my husband's also a very good actor.
Wow. Well, I've really loved the time with you, and I hope that you look in your schedule, your calendar, buy some airplane tickets, and come and see me here in Idaho. I'll buy you a lunch.
Oh, man, I would love that so much. I am frequently in Montana for art. My mom is a pretty prominent artist, and we do a lot of traveling to Montana. So one of these days, we're just going to have to hop up there and do that. I would love that.
You will. On October 20th, you should come here and meet my friend George Harrington. We're going to expose George to the world, as well as all of his films, October 20th, right in Boise, Idaho.
All right.
George is a very, very accomplished filmmaker who just happens to live here. And I'm inviting everybody I love to come to see the premiere of all of his films all at one night. It's going to be an exciting event, October 20th in Boise, Idaho. So if you're thinking about coming someplace, I'd love to introduce you to George.
Oh, that's amazing. Cool. Thank you. I've really enjoyed my time with you too, and I'd love to come back.
Well, thank you very much. Folks at home, Hollywood isn't just blonde-haired, blue-eyed people. Hollywood is also interesting people with character and life and exuberance, and unusual people who are not what you think they are when you first look at them. Always look beyond and look deeper. I have loved this opportunity with Heather today. I am your host of the show, Geoffrey Hill, and I love you all.